Hi, everybody. I'm Dr. Duke, and welcome to this week's episode of The Takeaway with our good friend, correspondent Alex Newman. Alex has written an important article this week that details just how much money both the states and the federal government save because of homeschoolers. Alex, thanks for being here today.
Thanks very much for having me, Duke. And the numbers really are astounding. There's a couple of different data sets that have come out recently. We have some data at the state level now, and this was put out by Intellectual Takeout, and it showed that in states like Wisconsin, where the FreedomProject is based, taxpayers save about $200 million every year because of homeschoolers. States like California, the savings are closer to $2 billion with a B dollars. And then if you look at the big picture, at the national level, the Pioneer Institute came out with an estimate suggesting that we're talking about $22 billion. And because that's such a huge number, for perspective, that's about the size of the annual economic output of the entire state of Vermont.
It's a fascinating number. And, when you think about it, not only are homeschool moms and dads doing the responsible thing, keeping kids out of these ridiculous public schools with all the ideology, the needless expense, the politics, the failed standards, let's be honest, right? The inability to educate at the level they really should be educating. Not only are parents reaching into their own pockets, sacrificing their own time to give their kids a quality education, but that saves tremendous amounts of money for the states and the feds. And yet still, these families are paying, it's really double indemnity. They're paying all kinds of money in real estate taxes, property taxes, all sorts of hidden fees to keep these public schools, these failed public schools running and deriving no benefit immediately to these families.
That's right. So in addition to having to pay for these government schools, the homeschoolers, of course, pay their property taxes, their state taxes, their federal income taxes, and all the rest of it. On top of that, they reject the schools, so they don't take advantage of that quote unquote service. But then on top of that, they have this enormous financial sacrifice. For almost all homeschool families, one of the parents, typically the mother, stays at home. And so that's, one significant potential income stream that has to be sacrificed for the benefit of properly educating the children. So we're really talking about a double whammy here in terms of the sacrifice that homeschoolers make. But again, the savings to taxpayers are just enormous.
It is funny when you look at how homeschool kids tend to exceed almost every major metric when it comes to educating our kids. They're better readers, they're better at math, they're better at science, they're better students, and they know more. When you look at that, you look at how efficient homeschooling is, you look at how much money now, undeniably, states, local communities, the federal government is saving because of moms who are homeschooling, you'd think every politician in the country would be begging, urging, and pleading, using their bully pulpits to try to get more and more kids homeschooled. But we know now that with all of this data, we know that the public schools aren't primarily about education. They're about this big network, this highly expensive network of transferal payments, right? Taking money away from citizens, dumping them into the Department of Education to pay the salaries of 5,000 bureaucrats who have no real function, no necessary function. All the money that becomes a sop to teachers' union, all the money that goes into these infrastructure projects, and really none of it's necessary. We know now, and we have every metric that shows us, that public school is not about educating kids. It's about this money game, and that's perhaps why Republicans are as feckless as Democrats when it comes to reforming this.
That's right. In addition to the money game, there's all these contractors and people feeding at the public trough. You also have, the indoctrination and the dumbing down component. And what Sam Blumenfeld and I argued in our book is that the purpose of this system that exists today is literally, it was designed for this purpose. So it's actually doing what it was designed to do pretty successfully, dumbing down the populace and indoctrinating the children with this ideology of statism, of support for big government, of secular humanism, everything needed to undermine the foundations of the United States and freedom. So, really, in addition to saving taxpayers huge amounts of money, what I argue in my article at the Freedom Project this week is that homeschoolers will probably, if America is going to be saved, will probably play an enormous role in saving the United States and our Constitution and our freedom.
Well, that is an absolutely critical point. Beyond the tax and spend fairy tale that big public education is for the federal government, all that revenue coming in, all the power that comes with that revenue, to, as we saw with Common Core, to reward compliant states and to punish and bribe states that are trying to resist federal overtake of education, you've got the other main reason why our Republicans and Democrats are unwilling to fix this broken system. It's because it allows the indoctrination of our kids. It's a huge mechanism to feed kids it's very progressive, very big government ideas that further the problem. Alex, this is a great article. It's really timely and necessary. We're glad you're here, and thanks again. We'll see you soon next week. If you enjoyed this video and all of our videos, please consider a tax-deductible donation so we can keep the whole thing free for you. I'm Dr. Duke. Thanks for watching.